For USCFootball.com, I'm Keely Eure here with Dan Weber for instant analysis of USC's sixth practice of fall camp. Today, USC was in the Coliseum, and like we predicted, we're doing instant outside of the Coliseum. We got kicked out. But Dan, what were your general thoughts about today's practice?
Well, I think the Coliseum looks better than we expected. It's a lot closer to being ready. The field looks terrific. Looks like a putting green. Clay said you could sleep on it. It is a fast track. You would think that would help USC. When you get past the kind of general first impressions, we're going to get a tour next week so we can nail down all the Coliseum stuff. That was a harder practice, a faster practice, a more demanding practice than I had expected after yesterday's scrimmage. Yeah. I thought they came out and went at it really, really well, and you're going to be able to kind of read the list of guys who either didn't make it to practice or didn't make it through practice. But I like it if they're going to commit to going hard, even with the numbers and names that you're going to have, and you might as well go ahead and read them.
Yeah, okay, so it was a banged-up day for USC today. First off, let's start with players who did not practice. They were out prior to practice. Marquise Stepp with a left knee brace. That is new. Chase Williams was evaluated during yesterday's team period in the scrimmage. He tried to walk it off. It looked kind of limpy, and then he was out today. Paie Naioteote, always watch his name. He was out with a right knee brace. Levi Jones, who has chest swelling, was out. Achille Ross and Cam Smith with their hamstrings were out. Chuma Edoga with his hip soreness also out. And Jakari Godfrey was out. We didn't get clarification on that. And then that was just before practice even started. And then these are the players who visited the trainer's table today. Tyler Vaughns, Caleb Tremblay, Michael Pittman, Devin Williams, and John Houston. Helton did give some clarification. John Houston banged knees with said wear. So he was out. He was looking at his right knee, so that's something to watch for. And Michael Pittman has an AC sprain. It looks like it's his right shoulder. So that's not good news. I mean, that's the price of coming with or practicing with a full team period and being physical. So I know some people are probably freaking out from that huge list, but I think it's probably you're gonna want physicality if you're gonna want physicality.
Yeah, I mean it's football. It wasn't full pads, but they went at it hard. And they went at it fast, and they wanted to put the quarterbacks under pressure and keep seeing who reacts to the blitz and all that. So they're going at it. I think the defense had some tougher times in one-on-ones, and you had some really good play by guys like Josh Amon-Ra just tearing it up, and Amon-Ra, we say his name every day. But then you got into team, and they wanted to kind of assert themselves on defense. So they kind of fought back. So it was a competitive day. I mean, there were a couple of really big hits out there. I mean, Trevon Sidney went up over the middle and got crushed. Let's see, Sed Ware ran into Greg Johnson for just a big pop all through the Coliseum. So they didn't take their foot off the gas today, I thought, and that's a good sign. And those guys, they'll get over it. They'll get back.
Mm-hmm. Helton made sure to highlight Amon-Ra St. Brown in his post-practice presser. He said that Amon-Ra reminds him of Robert Woods in his early stages, and he said that in Amon-Ra's first Coliseum practice today, it looked like he'd been playing here for 10 years. So that's a vote of confidence from a head coach.
Yeah, I think it was one of the maybe, I don't know if it was a Daily Trojan or whatever, question about, are you giving him too much, or is this asking too much from a freshman? And Clay went into a riff about, he's not really a freshman, the way he looks at things. He did not come in here with, big eyes and looking around at this place. He just comes out and plays, and that's exactly right. You're not going to give Amon-Ra too much to do. He had a couple of tough chances where he, could have made it. This great diving through the air, bouncing in the end zone catches where he'd have the ball for just a split second and then and didn't come up with it. But some of the efforts he makes are spectacular, and he's got some moves, and if he does, one time I think he probably wasn't very happy. JT Daniels was looking for him for a back shoulder, and he kept Amon-Ra kept going, and Isaac Taylor Stewart stepped in and got the interception in one-on-one, not in team. But the next time Amon-Ra gets in there, he has a double move for a touchdown. That's just that's the kind of kid he is. I think he just doesn't let that last play bother him and goes on to the next play.
We're 6 days into fall camp. Are you seeing any separation from the three quarterbacks? What have you seen from their play?
I think today, again, they're throwing the ball. Today was pitch and catch day.
Yeah.
So today was JT Daniels' day more. I mean, that's going to, if the quarterbacks aren't running the ball, or the only time they're running it's because they're getting sacked, JT's going to have the advantage. So that was a good day for him. I mean, there were times when he would go 5 for 5, and one of the other quarterbacks might not complete any passes in the first 2 series that he's in there. So if it's all pass, you're going to look at JT and say, he's probably the guy. I asked T, how do you call plays? How do you structure an offense when you got, because T said, we got 3 differently skilled quarterbacks. They all do different things well. I said, how do you call, how do you call a game? How do you call practice for guys whose skill sets, you got 2 guys that have really good wheels and you probably want them to take off, and one you don't, but he's got a great arm. He said, well, that's not a problem now. He said, in another week, you got to figure that out. I mean, how do you put those 2 together? I said, do you have a situation where you could go into a game and here's the game plan for JT and here's the game plan for Jack and Matt or whatever? And he said, hold on, we'll figure that out. Give us another week. So, but it's pretty noticeable. You have 2 different kinds of quarterbacks out there, and it just some days. Yesterday was more of a running day. Today's more of a throwing day. The running day is going to go to Jack and Matt, and the throwing day is going to go to JT.
Yeah. Tomorrow will be another Shells day for USC, and then on Saturday they will go to the Coliseum again for a full half scrimmage. He said they're going to run the clock. It's going to be like a game. They will be evaluating that. How much do you think that goes towards the quarterbacks and will follow into the next week?
Yeah, I think it really matters. I think they have to have an idea. I mean, I've got an idea. You probably, I would guess you've got an idea, but I think they're looking for reinforcement to what they're seeing, and we've seen some things that said, oh, okay, that's a little different than maybe I anticipated. So I think you're always open to that, but I think they kind of know what they want to see and how they want to see it. You got different levels of experience, different physical makeups, all those different kinds of things, and I think Saturday is a big first step into saying, right now they will tell you, oh no, we're not going to grade them 1, 2, 3, T said. It's not to that point yet. I think after Saturday, you can probably start doing the grading. Yeah, where you say, okay. But I think you still have to decide exactly what do you want to do on offense, because you've got, these different skill sets. You have to decide what's our offense going to be, and then who gets that job done better than anybody else. So, and that decision hasn't been made yet, I don't think, or they're not admitting that it's been made.
Is that a chicken or the egg type of predicament where if you want a certain quarterback, does that dictate what the offense you have, or if you're the coaches, we want this offense, thus we get this guy?
You hope it's the first. You hope it's this guy can do this, so we'll do this, rather than this is what we want to do. Let's hope this guy can do what we want to do. I mean, you don't want to be in that situation where you're pounding that square peg into that round hole saying, we really need you to do this because this is what we really want to do. And USC has been charged over the years that you've tried to, at times, get guys to do things because it's sort of the USC way or the USC offense. I always think of John David Beauty, who was one of the great high school quarterbacks. Didn't have a lot of foot speed, great arm, but coming out of high school, he had been a shotgun quarterback his whole life. But in those days, shotgun wasn't the way USC went. We don't do that here. So they put him under center. And he always had to, compensate for his lack of foot speed, his lack of athleticism. So he might have, had and he had a good career. And he was a good quarterback and a good kid and all those good things. But you wonder, what if he'd have started out in the shotgun? What if at USC at that point in time would have said, we can run the shotgun all the way because we have a really great shotgun quarterback. So I'm more of let your stars dictate to you, or let your talent dictate to you what you can do within the, the framework of what you really know, what you've recruited to, what you can coach. it all goes together. But I think you really got to. I think that's what Bill Belichick does so unbelievably well with the Patriots, is that he figures out on offense and defense what can we do better than what you can do, and he coaches to it. And it helps if you have Tom Brady, but he coaches to Tom Brady. He's not making Tom Brady do something Tom Brady isn't made to do. And there are offenses you could put Tom Brady in that he wouldn't be Tom Brady. So I think that's there are a lot of secrets to coaching. I think that's one of them. Really understand your talent and how you can make it be as good as it can be. And that'll be a challenge with this team this year, just because of the different skill sets that these quarterbacks have.
Any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Well, I think they said originally tomorrow was going to be a light practice. I think it's going to be a really light practice. I mean, light won't even describe after yesterday, today, and with the bumps and bruises. I think we're really going to see as close to a walkthrough as we're, for a year where they've really been going at it and going at it and going at it. Tomorrow might be the day you say, ease up, boys, because we want Saturday to be, So I would think tomorrow is super light.
Well, we have to give Helton credit. He has been going physical this fall. Do you think there's any chance that he might revert back to old ways, seeing the list that I read off earlier?
I don't think so. I think they've got. I think one of the things you like about this team is, for example, Chuma hasn't been around for 3 days. Everybody says probably your most talented offensive lineman, a senior. I don't know that we've noticed that he hasn't been there. I mean, you got Austin Jackson playing really well on the left side. Clayton Bradley, who was kind of alternating in both, is stepping in at the right side. It looks like if you've got some problems with Toa, snapping. I thought it was interesting when they were doing lineman drills. Toa was off to the side with Mike Goff and Cam Smith actually just snapping. So, but I think you've got people that you can put. It's not like last year in the Washington State game when they had, Toa came down with a staph infection and Vianney and Chuma got hurt, and it was like, well, what the heck? We don't have anybody, to put in there. I don't think there's that sense now. There's much more of a sense of, we're too deep. The younger guys are starting to grow up, and so that sense carries you through. I mean, Porter's going to be gone for a couple of weeks, and you say, hey, this is good because it gets Kanai and Giuliano and Hunter Eccles and Jordan Iosefa. All of them are going to get more opportunity to do more things. I think that's the mindset you have to have. I think that's the mindset they've got, is we've got enough depth, we've got to get it ready, and however this stuff all works, this gives us the chance to get everybody ready. So no, I think they're pretty committed to the depth and the rotations and the physicality, and it all works together. And you can't do it if you don't have the depth. I mean, then you're really, that's a high wire act without a net. But I think they feel like they've got a net because of the numbers.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for day 6 of fall camp. For Dan Weber, I'm Keely Eure. For more, check out uscfootball.com.